The first thing I'm going to talk about real quick is Star Trek Prodigy. Star Trek Prodigy. Star Trek Prodigy was a show that debuted on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon. It was on. It was made for Nickelodeon, but it was on Paramount Plus first. Then it aired a couple months later on Nickelodeon, and it was designed to be a children's show to get kids just interested in Star Trek, and it ran 20 episodes. Season one was 20 episodes, split in two parts. And the first season has been complete for quite some time. And season two is premiering in a little over a week. On July 1st, season two of Star Trek Prodigy drops. And I wanted to take a moment to talk about Star Trek Prodigy because I feel like it's sort of become the forgotten Star Trek series. We have a bunch of Star Trek shows on right now. We have Lower Decks. I got some of my Lower Decks Funko Pops right here next to me. We got Lower Decks. Discovery just ended. Picard ended about a year ago. Strange New Worlds is going strong. And we have a new series about to debut. It starts shooting this summer called Starfleet Academy. And when we talk about all these Star Trek shows, the one show that kind of falls through the cracks is Prodigy. And it also kind of got canceled in a manner of speaking because it was a Paramount Plus series. Paramount Plus dropped it and scrubbed it from their streaming service. You can't find it on Paramount Plus anymore, even though that's where it originally debuted. They did the second season was already finished. Like they were putting the finishing touches on season two when Paramount dropped it. So Paramount said, no, we're going to give an opportunity for somebody to come in and pick up the second season, which is already done. And Netflix swooped in. There was a little while there where we didn't know where it was going to go. And unfortunately, Netflix swooped in, grabbed it. They got all of season one, which, has already aired on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon. And on Christmas Day, I believe, either Christmas Day or New Year's Day, every season one episode of Prodigy that we'd already seen dropped on Netflix. And now on July 1st, the second season is going to drop on Netflix. And it's not necessarily dead in the water. There could be a season three. We could get a season three of Star Trek Prodigy, depending on how well it performs for Netflix. If Netflix wants to greenlight a season three, they could do so. So that's pretty exciting that we could get a third season of this show. But I do feel that this has become the forgotten Star Trek series. And I'll tell you why I think it happened. This was designed to be a children's show, and it aired on Nickelodeon. And I think that had an adverse effect on the series. Because if you watch the series, it's not written down to children. It's a very good Star Trek series. It's a Star Trek series that any Star Trek fan, no matter their age, could enjoy. If you're an adult, you can enjoy this show. If you're a child, you can enjoy this show. It's family friendly, but it doesn't write down to the Star Trek fans. And I think by marketing it as a children's series, they caused a problem for themselves because I think a lot of adult fans did not tune in. I think a lot of the adult fans thought, this is for kids. I'm not a kid. I'm not going to watch it. And I think it missed the target demo too, because it was designed for kids. And I don't think a lot of kids did watch it. And I think that's a shame. I think that they didn't get the child audience that they were hoping for, but they also ended up inadvertently cutting out the adult audience because a lot of the adults thought that's a kid's show. I'm not going to watch it. And I've heard people say to me over the years, I wish they'd do a follow-up on Voyager. And I keep telling them they kind of did. It's called Star Trek Prodigy. Star Trek Prodigy features the return of Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway. Chakotay has been on the show. From what I understand, season two, we're going to get the emergency holographic doctor, and season two of the show takes place on a new ship called Voyager, the Voyager A. So this series, Star Trek Prodigy, really does serve as a good follow-up series to Star Trek Voyager. So if you're an original fan who liked Voyager, this might be a show you really would dig. And unfortunately, I think by marketing it as a children's show, they kind of fouled themselves up. And I think that's what's happened with Star Trek Prodigy. I think that's why it's become the forgotten Trek series. I didn't think ahead to grab the action figures, but I do have all the Star Trek Prodigy action figures, and I bought a Star Trek Prodigy t-shirt, and I told my wife, I said, any Star Trek Prodigy merch, I'm going to buy it. And I don't do that with every show. But I feel like Prodigy is in such a weird place where it is in danger of becoming the forgotten Trek that I want to support it, and I want to have these figures and things just so I can say, look, hey, look, this show existed, and it was something that was a part of this franchise, and it's not getting the respect it deserves. So anyway, I started, because like I said, season 2 begins on July 1st. I started rewatching season 1. I watched them all when they aired, but now I'm rewatching, and I'm 50% through the season. I just finished episode 10 earlier today. And I'm going to tell you, Star Trek Prodigy is a really solid series. It's a really solid series. It's so solid, even the ultimate Trek curmudgeon, Robert Meyer Burnett, a guy who has loved to trash Star Trek in recent years, has said he kind of likes it. And he's a guy who's trashing everything that the franchise does. And even he has spoken highly of Prodigy. So this is a show that I think fans should be checking out. And I want to say, if you have a Netflix account, if you're a Star Trek fan, if you have a Netflix account, and if you've never watched Prodigy, please go check out season 1. It's streaming right now, every episode, and every episode of season 2 will be available in a little over a week. And if those numbers are better on Netflix than they were on Paramount Plus, season 3 is not out of the cards. We could get a season 3, and I'd like to see it happen. So I would like to encourage everybody, please, 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 if you haven't watched it yet, and if you're a Star Trek fan, check out Star Trek Prodigy. All episodes now streaming on Netflix, and season 2 is coming on July 1st. Again, it's a perfect show if you're a Voyager fan. All right, let's take a look at some of the chat here. Jesse says, did I see the sad news about Donald Sutherland? Yes, I did see the sad news. I loved his invasion of the Body Snatchers. Of course, I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and he was Buffy's original watcher. So those are the first two that always come to mind. Yeah, that's sad to see him go. And well, he had quite a career. Quite a career that he should be proud of. Strange Marvel Theory says Starfleet Academy intrigues me. Me too. I'm very excited about Starfleet Academy, especially with this cast that has been announced. They've announced quite a cast for that show. Retro Machine says, speaking of Star Trek, are you going to Valley Forge to meet Shatner in September? I've met Shatner a number of times already. I don't know. I keep asking myself, do I have anything else I need to get signed by William Shatner? And I mean, because it's pricey. It's pricey to get a Shatner autograph. I keep thinking, well, it's now or never. I mean, the guy is in his 90s. If you want to get an autograph from him, time waits for no man. Now's the time to do it. But I don't know. I've already got a couple autograph pictures of William Shatner. I got my picture with Shatner. He signed my Free Enterprise poster. I already mentioned Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert Meyer Burnett wrote a movie, or wrote and directed a movie called Free Enterprise. I love that movie. William Shatner starred in it. He signed my poster. So I've already got a couple signatures from Mr. Shatner.